Today is the 5th of September, which means we're a little bit late on spring sowing, but in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly what we are going to be planting out in our small little homestead for spring. So I'm just going to show you the seeds that I have and what I've selected. I have so many seeds, but I can't go and plant all of them. So I've had to actually be very, very good and try and select ones that I know that I am going to grow and eat from and utilize. So it be harvesting and eating it in my food, making something from it, or gifting it to people. These are the crops I want to grow. Last year I grew quite a few things where I literally harvest and just gave away. I didn't even utilize it myself. So this year I want to do it correctly. So let's go through the very first box, which is my tomatoes. So I'm a huge fan of growing tomatoes. You all know that. I like baking sun-dried tomatoes, which is my favorite. I've still got some from last season. I dry some of my tomatoes and I put them in olive oil, and I'm able to use it whenever I want to put it in food or in a salad. In a salad. It's quite windy today, so hopefully the camera doesn't fall on me. But I also love cherry tomatoes, especially when I make it in a roast. Like I just throw cherry tomatoes in the pan or in a salad. But the cherry tomatoes that I like to grow is cherry tomatoes that are not acidity. So the acid is very low in the selected cherry tomatoes I've actually chosen. The very first one is the blueberry cherry tomatoes. I saved some seeds from last season, and let's see, I harvested this and dried them out on the 26th of April 2025. So that was literally around the corner, but that was my last batch of blueberry cherry tomatoes. So that is definitely on the menu. Then I did grow something called Craig tomatoes. They are big tomatoes, and I thought now sandwich tomatoes, but unfortunately what I learned was that I was growing my tomatoes too close to each other and they were getting cross-pollinated. Very interesting, because it's never happened to me before, but it does happen, and last season that is exactly what happened. I grew all my cherry tomatoes in my tomato bed basically, where I trellis it up, so I grow my tomatoes vertically, so I have that beautiful air space, no disease. And then at the bottom I just put some random stuff like basil or even carrots, spinach. You can grow anything if you're growing vertically, so you utilize growing vertically and you utilize the leftover space at the bottom, or you just mulch it and you don't put anything there. But in my case, I put some flowers there to bring in the insects to pollinate, and I think they did a brilliant job because everything just got cross-pollinated. So my blueberries that I did grow in the bed came out red. My yellow cherry tomatoes that I grew came out red. So it looks like red cherry tomatoes are more dominant, and they took more than my other cherry tomatoes I grew. So I'm going to be trying to grow my cherry tomatoes in different areas of the garden. I think that would look quite funky. So I might grow 2 different varieties in one bed and do that around the garden and see if it works better. So Alice Craig, I'm going to try this one again. I got my seeds from Living Seeds. They're pretty good, and they gave me a complimentary cherry blend. I'm going to keep this. Might gift it to my neighbor Norma. She also has a little homestead at the back of her garden. Her husband does majority of the growing. I think they might appreciate it. Living Seeds gifted this to me, so I think I'm just going to return the favor and gift it to Norma. And then I got something called kale big paste. I don't know if you can see that. Don't even know if I've opened this. Yeah, I did open it, and I don't think I was able to grow anything. So I'm going to try that one out. Then banana legs. Banana legs should be yellow, if I'm not mistaken, yellow long tomatoes. And my banana legs came out red, so I definitely want to try. Someone on my YouTube page actually comment to put this in my garden. It's a variety they recommend. I went with their suggestion, but unfortunately wasn't successful last year. Doing it again this year. And then I have a Mandarin cross. So I'm going to do these ones that I tried to do last year. And then I've got somewhere here, I just need to try and find it. I brought some seeds back in a tissue from it's like a medium-sized cherry tomato, I guess, bigger than a cherry tomato and smaller than a tomato. It's about that big, a little bit smaller than a golf ball, and it was really nice. I don't know if it's used for sandwiches or that I bought it at a store while I was overseas. I loved the taste, brought it back with me, the seeds that is, and I'm going to grow it here. So I would think it's more salad tomato, so you can cut it in 4 and toss it in a salad. So somewhere here I've got that. And then what else have I got here? I've got the Ember Red cherry tomato. I think that is what this is. Black cherry tomatoes. And these are all tomatoes that are very low in acid. So very, very cool. There's the orange cherry tomatoes. I'm going to give that a skip. Red cherry tomatoes definitely on the menu. Jam tomatoes definitely on the menu. So with jam tomatoes, what I do is that I actually use the jam tomatoes to make sun-dried tomatoes, and it's really, really nice. So when you dry your tomatoes and you jar it up, they actually become like more sweet, and the flavor totally changes. Definitely. What else are we going to grow? There's the green grape tomato. Going to give that one a miss. I have a Bloody Butcher tomato. It's a sandwich tomato, I think. And I've got 2 left. Was never successful in growing it. Not sure if I should grow it, so still pondering on that. Yellow garden, more yellow. Green tiger tomatoes, don't want that this year. And green. So the green cherry tomatoes I am not going to be growing. Okay, number 2 on my list is chili. Every girl has to have chilies in their homestead. And as you know, I make chili powder. So I get all my chilies, dry them out. I make it into like a fine powder, and that can be sprinkled over food. But the chilies, I dry the chilies out, and then make things like chili flakes. I love chili flakes. I love using chilies and putting them in a vinegar. So I make pickled chilies, the best. And then obviously, what chilies are we going to grow? Number 1 chili that I will be growing loads of will be the Acha lemon chili. This is the number 1 chili at the homestead. It's a yellow chili. It's mild. And you can actually get that hint of citrus in this chili. It is one of my favorite chilies. I got my chilies from living seeds. So every year when my plants give me chilies, I save my chilies. Acha lemon, definitely on the menu there. Then I've got something that says long green chilies. I've got a funny feeling this is bought store chilies, so I'm going to give that one a skip. I'm also giving the Jamaican chili a skip. It's a very, very hot chili. They say it's medium, but nope, it's not. I'm going to also add to my list Raja chili. And these are all chili seeds that I've actually gotten from my harvest. Just definitely need to try jalapenos this year again. Last year's harvest. I have some more actually lemon, loads of lemon. And then for sure in quite a few of my empty pots that I've got lying around, going to be doing pepper juice. So we call it pepper juice, but I think it's called sweet peppers. I make bottled picanto, which is pickled picantos, and I add sugar to it so it becomes quite sweet, and you just eat it like that. It is beautiful. So these are the chilies that I'm growing, and then somewhere among my stock somewhere I need to do some green peppers. So that is number 2 that I'm definitely growing. 3 would be your squashes. So what have we got here? We have the yellow scallop, which I was not successful. Last year, everything just went haywire. I don't know what happened. And talking about starting spring off with a nice bang, I actually got a private message from a seed company. I'm not going to tell you who it is, asking if they can actually give me a starter pack. They've been following me, and that they absolutely love my journey, and that they would love to bring their seed package into my homestead. So this, when I do receive the package, will obviously promote their product, and we are going to do a nice video on that, and obviously utilize what they gifted us. And yeah, it's quite exciting. I was quite privileged to get that email from them. So thanks for watching my videos, and yeah, let's carry on with today's video. Molly, zebra, pole beans. Come on guys, this was so successful the last time, and unfortunately couldn't get my hands on this last year. I found some, and I know that when I cooked them, I actually put them in like a bean salad, and really nice. So definitely on my list. And then I'm not sure if I want to grow the broad bean aqua. It's called aqua dalk. So I'm going to give this one a skip. And then I think that is all the beans. Is that right? Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all the beans. Okay, baby corn, and I think I have another corn, golden bantam. So corn, sweet corn, and golden bantam. Definitely, I'm going to see which bed I'm going to utilize it in. I try to grow the corn in a container last season, and it grew really well, but for some reason it didn't take. I didn't get any fruit from it or any corn from it. So I'm going to probably utilize, I'm thinking this bed right here, I'm going to probably utilize this bed and put corn. So if I do that, I can maybe do the 3 sisters, which I've been wanting to do for a very long time. The corn, then I think it's some climber, I think it's a bean or pea, and then I think it's a squash. So comment below and tell me if I should do the 3 sisters. I think this is the year to do that. So definitely a yes in that packet. And then obviously you guys followed my journey on growing the loofah. So we have a brand called the Omo African loofah, and that gave us over 20 loofahs, maybe more if when the wasps didn't sting it and it rotted. But this was successful, and we've actually harvested some, and we are wanting to just to get some like glycerine soap and make some loofah wash scrubs with it. That was a fun project, and we're actually going to be making a trellis where it was the last time, and overhanging it going further towards the gym section. And we're going to actually buy some steel and make a really sturdy trellis for it, because we realized how heavy loofahs get. And my arch, which the roses are fine because they're not heavy, they seem to be doing fine, but with the loofahs the whole thing just caved in. So I'll be buying some steel rods and making a nice square frame, and that is where the loofah is going to be grown. And comment below, should I grow 1 or 2, because we saw how much 2 gave us. So definitely on my list. And remember, everything that I'm talking about right now can be planted now in September, and can also be, it should have started in August. I'm late with my seedlings because I was traveling, and so I was catching up this week at work. This weekend, so today is the 5th of September and it's Friday, so tomorrow I'm doing all my seedlings. Everything I've spoken to you today is what I'm going to be putting in seedling trays and planting. Another thing we are going to be doing is sunflowers. So you know how big I am with sunflowers. But with sunflowers, I'm going to take a different approach of where I actually plant them. Remember, sunflowers, when they get too heavy, can kind of like fall, but they get really, really thick as well. So what I've learned is that it really gets hot in this area. East is over there, it's where the sun rises, and it rises, and because we're going into summer, it kind of like falls through there, goes right across, and then sets over there. So it's literally right like that. This garden gets full sun more than 8 hours. So in saying that, sometimes the crops take a really batter during summer. It gets really hot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plant a sunflower at the base of each raised bed, just one, so that when it grows, it kind of like will be like a shade for the crops because they're so big. So that's what I'm thinking. It will act as a kind of like canvas for shade for some of the plants, and as the sun moves, the shade will also move. So it's just something I'm thinking of. Sunflowers, a definite yes. And you know how beautiful these sunflowers are. They're the amber red and orange. So they're beautiful. They grow taller than me. Definitely on the list. Chives for a herb. Dill is something I like to put in homemade salads. So I'll get yogurt, lemon, salt and pepper, and a little bit of dill. Chop it up, put it in, mix it, and that is basically my yogurt dressing for my salads. Very, very nice. What else do we have here? Okay, next crop that we definitely going to grow is cucumbers. So we have a trellis over there, and I'm thinking of putting 2 seeds on each side. So altogether, I think there will be 4 cucumbers growing on the arch. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Onion, red of Melon. I've been dying to give onions a shot. Now that I've got my compost out from the compost bins, you can see we harvest 2 beautiful big bags of pure organic compost, all broken down from grass clippings, the straw that we get from the aviaries, branches, leaves, anything that we trim, all goes into the compost bin. Also banana peels, fruits, apples, veggies that are not used goes into the compost bin, breaks down nicely, and gives us this rich organic compost I can just utilize and put back into my garden. So time to do red onions. These are okay. So I'm also a big believer on kale and spinach, only because I like to do it in like stir fries. So I put them in my noodle stir fries or even in a rice stir fry. But also I love to put it in the garden. It looks beautiful, but my animals love it. So it feeds the quails, it feeds the rabbits, it feeds who else? The chickens, let's not forget the chicken. It feeds the chickens. So we have different varieties of kale. This is the Moliere. I hope I'm saying it right. I always batter this name. But we do have one growing, and it's like the last one that we have in the garden. So it's time to put some more in the garden. That's a yes. Swiss chard, definitely yes. We try not to do too much spinach because the spinach for the animals aren't too good, the same as lettuce. But for home use, I love to cook with spinach, bok choy as well, mostly for the animals as well. Dazzling blue kale on my list. I love it. And then we also got a palm kale. So these are 3 different kales. So at the moment, we've got 2 different kales growing in the garden. So the last crop we're going to talk about today is a crop that you do need in summer, and that is your melons. So we had such a success with melons, and I just need to bring it back. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do something totally different. Instead of trying to have these melons on a what did we have on a trellis, I'm actually going to try to see if I can't let it creep on the floor. And the melons we're going to do is the Star and Moon red watermelon. A definite yes. There's a whole bunch of pigeons farting in the tree there. Then we had a Charontas melon. This was beautiful. So a Charontas, and I think I might do 2 of each melon because it was so nice that 1 melon wasn't enough. What else do we have? Oh, here's my pepper juice. So I found the pepper juice, and I found these small Cyprus round cherry tomatoes. So that's a yes. Then we have the golden honey watermelon. That was absolutely awesome. And then what else? We have the Casabana melon, and this melon is from Turkey. It's called the Golden Beauty, and we did a video on it, and we opened it up together, and we had a taste test, and it blew my mind. So this is definitely on the list. What else do we have here? We have cucumber that needs to go in. And some seeds here that I name. This is blueberry tomatoes. And that's it, guys. So these are the seeds that I will be planting in springtime. It is September. I'm a little bit late, but all these seeds that I've actually spoken about today can be planted still. So if you have not gotten your spring seedlings in the ground or in pots, start now, and let's go on a journey together. Let's watch how these seeds actually start germinating and growing, because at the end of their growing season, I like to harvest and do taste tests with you guys, and that is the fun part. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, I'll appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe so that you follow my journey and I can teach you what I've learned over the 4 years of me homesteading. And I definitely will see you guys all in the next video.